Alright fellas, if you want to trigger a woman's competitive nature and make her crave your validation, you need to understand the art of disqualifying. Most guys spend their time qualifying themselves, trying to impress her, prove they're good enough. But the men who actually make an impact, they flip the script, they make her. Today, I'm giving you 9 disqualifiers that will subtly challenge her, make her chase and get inside her head. These aren't about being mean or disrespectful, gentlemen. Let's break them down. This first one is a classic, gentlemen. It's a subtle yet powerful way to gauge her interest and see how she reacts under a bit of playful pressure. You're out on a date, having a conversation, enjoying each other's company and getting to know one another. She starts to open up, sharing little details about her life, her passions, and her adventures. Maybe she says she loves skydiving, that rush of adrenaline as she jumps out of a plane. Or perhaps she's a real party animal, always the life of the party, dancing the night away. Now, she might actually be adventurous, with a love for hiking, surfing, or rock climbing, but that's not the point. The point is to see how she reacts when you challenge her. The point is to challenge her, to make her prove it to you, to see if she stands by her words. You look at her with a skeptical eye, a slight smirk playing on your lips, and you say, "You? Nah, you don't look like that kind of girl." Now, pay attention to her reaction. This is where it gets interesting. If she gets defensive, you've hit a nerve. She's going to start listing off all the wild things she's done just to prove you wrong. She might react with surprise, maybe even a bit of annoyance, but that's a good sign. If she crosses her arms or looks annoyed, it means she's invested in proving herself to you. She'll start passionately listing off all the adventurous things she's done, trying to convince you. She might even pull out her phone to show you photos, gesturing animatedly as she talks. And that's what you want, gentlemen. You want her to be so determined to change your mind that she forgets she's even trying to impress you in the first place. You want her to be so caught up in proving herself that she becomes more genuine, more real. Engage with her, challenge her stories, but always with that playful, disbelieving smile. The more she tries to convince you, the more invested she becomes in the conversation. This playful banter creates a dynamic where she's eager to share more, to open up more. The more she tries to convince you, the more she reveals about herself, her true self. And that's the key, gentlemen. The more invested she becomes, the deeper the connection you build. Music, gentlemen, is a powerful tool. It transcends boundaries, speaks a universal language, and connects us in ways words often can't. It's a window to the soul, revealing our innermost thoughts and emotions, a reflection of our deepest desires and passions. Music can evoke memories, stir emotions, and even change our mood in an instant. And it's also a fantastic way to disqualify a woman and ignite her competitive spirit. This playful strategy can create a dynamic interaction that keeps things interesting. Let's say you're talking to a woman and she mentions she's really into jazz music. Now jazz is a genre rich with history and complexity. Now she might be a true aficionado, but you're going to play a little game. This game isn't about belittling her interests, but rather sparking a lively conversation. You're going to look at her with a mixture of amusement and disbelief and say, "Jazz? No way, you don't seem like the jazz type." This statement is designed to be a playful challenge. Now she might laugh it off, but I guarantee you, a part of her is going to want to prove you wrong. She'll feel a spark of determination to show you just how much she knows. She's going to start talking about her favorite musicians, the concerts she's been to, maybe even try to impress you with her knowledge of obscure jazz subgenres. This is her chance to shine. This is where you play it cool, gentlemen. Listen attentively, show genuine interest, and let her enthusiasm guide the conversation. Engage with her, ask questions, and let her lead the conversation. The more she feels heard and appreciated, the more connected she'll feel to you. The more she talks about her passion, the more invested she becomes in you. This shared experience can create a bond that goes beyond just a casual conversation. It's about creating a playful tension, a mental tug-of-war that keeps her on her toes. This dynamic interaction can lead to a deeper connection and a more memorable experience for both of you. Now this one, gentlemen, this one is a classic for a reason. You see a woman, she's elegant, put together, maybe a little bit reserved, and you want to see that fire, that passion beneath the surface, so you drop this line: "You look too soft to like horror movies." Now some women might be offended, but trust me, most will be intrigued. They'll want to prove you wrong, show you they're not just a pretty face. They'll start talking about their favorite horror flicks, how they can handle the goriest scenes, maybe even challenge you to a scary movie marathon. And that's exactly what you want. You want her to step out of her comfort zone to show you her adventurous side. But here's the key, gentlemen. Delivery is everything. You need a smirk, a glint in your eye, a tone that suggests you're both teasing her and genuinely curious. Chapter 4. Why is a girl like you hanging out in such a place? What's the trick? Let's say you find yourself in a situation where you meet a woman in an unexpected setting. Maybe it's a cigar lounge, a sporting event, or a high-end art gallery. Somewhere you wouldn't typically expect to find someone like her. Approach her with a playful smirk and say, "Why is a girl like you hanging out in a place like this? What's the trick?" Now, the trick part is crucial. It implies that she has an ulterior motive, a hidden agenda, even if you don't actually believe that. This playful accusation creates a sense of mystery around her, making her want to explain herself, to prove that she belongs there just as much as anyone else. This disqualifier works because it challenges her comfort zone, forcing her to think about how she's perceived and how she wants to be perceived. Chapter 5. I bet you don't know how to kiss. This one, gentlemen, this one is a bold move. It's not for the faint of heart, but when used correctly, it's devastatingly effective. Timing, however, is everything. You can't just drop this on a woman you just met at the coffee shop. You need to establish a certain level of comfort and flirtation first. A playful back and forth, a lingering touch, a moment of shared laughter. These are the green lights you're looking for. Once the mood is right, look her dead in the eyes, that playful smirk back on your face, and say, "I bet you don't know how to kiss." Your tone should be light, teasing, almost like a dare. You're not trying to insult her, you're challenging her, sparking a fire in her belly. No woman wants to be told she's a bad kisser. Chapter 6. You look like the girl that stays indoors all day reading books. Now this one, fellas, this one is all about playing with perceptions. You see, women, especially attractive women, are used to being admired for their looks. They get compliments on their appearance all the time, but what they crave, what truly makes them feel seen, is when a man recognizes something deeper. So when you meet a woman who exudes that classic beauty, you know, the kind that makes you think of Audrey Hepburn or Grace Kelly, you drop this line, "You look like the girl who stays indoors all day reading books." Now, she might actually be a bookworm, but that's not the point. The point is that you're painting a picture of her that's different from the usual superficial compliments. You're suggesting that you see past her beauty, that you recognize her intelligence and sophistication, and trust me, that's a powerful thing. Chapter 7. There's no way you like art. This disqualifier is your ticket to unlocking a woman's intellectual side, her appreciation for the finer things in life. But it's not about being pretentious or condescending. It's about playful provocation, a gentle nudge to make her reveal her passions. Let's say you're with a woman and the topic of art comes up. Maybe you're walking past a gallery, or she mentions an art exhibition she attended. This is your cue. Look at her with a playful smirk and say, "There's no way you like art. You seem way too..." Insert a playful observation about her personality. Chapter 8. I bet you suck at math, only if she's actually great at it. Now gentlemen, this disqualifier is not for the faint of heart. This one is for those women who exude intelligence, who carry themselves with an air of confidence that suggests they excel in all areas of life, including those that typically intimidate men. So when you find yourself face to face with such a woman who clearly knows her worth, you look her dead in the eyes with a hint of mischief in your smile and you say, "I bet you suck at math." The key here, gentlemen, is to deliver this line with absolute confidence, as if you're stating an undeniable fact. The more certain you sound, the more it will throw her off guard. She's used to men being intimidated by her intelligence, not challenging it. Chapter 9. Do you even pass 5 feet? This one is killer for short girls. Now this last disqualifier, gentlemen, this one is for those women who are vertically challenged, the ones who have to stand on their tippy toes to reach the top shelf at the grocery store. You know the type, right? The ones who have to ask for help or carry around a little step stool just to get by. It's a common struggle for many women who are on the shorter side. And I know what you're thinking. Kevin, isn't that a little insensitive? But trust me, when delivered with the right energy, this disqualifier can be absolute gold. It's all about the delivery, the tone, and the context. You have to make sure it comes off as lighthearted and fun, rather than mean-spirited or mocking. You see, women who are shorter than average are used to men towering over them, literally and figuratively. It's a dynamic they've experienced their whole lives, from school to the workplace, and even in their personal relationships. They're accustomed to looking up, both physically and metaphorically. They're used to being seen as delicate, fragile creatures. Society often treats them as if they need extra care and protection, which can be both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, they might appreciate the help, but on the other, it can be frustrating to be constantly underestimated. So when you meet a woman who fits this description, a woman who carries herself with confidence despite her stature, you look down at her with a playful smirk and say, "Do you even pass 5 feet?" It's a way to acknowledge her height without making her feel bad about it. Instead, you're showing that you notice her and appreciate her confidence. Now, the key here is to say it with a twinkle in your eye, a tone that conveys amusement rather than malice. Your body language and facial expressions should match the playful nature of your words. A genuine smile can go a long way in making sure your comment is received in the spirit it's intended. You're not trying to make her feel self-conscious about her height. You're simply acknowledging it in a playful, teasing way. It's about creating a moment of shared humor. Something that can break the ice and make her feel more comfortable around you. Remember, the goal is to connect, not to offend. You see, all of these disqualifiers work because they do one thing. They make her prove herself to you. Most guys chase, validate, and try to impress women. But you sit back and let her earn your attention. That's what creates attraction. Try these out and see how quickly women start chasing your validation instead of the other way around. I'll see you in the next one.